Welcome to the Valero Alamo Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Oregon and Oklahoma are separated by about half the country, but make no mistake, they are rivals. If you say the name Brian Pasinger to either of these fan bases, they'll be transported immediately to an onside kick and a touchdown in Eugene in 2006. That's the last time they played. The guy who was coaching for Oklahoma that night is back on the sideline. Jason Benetti, Andre Ware, Paul Carcaterra is downstairs. And let's start with Oklahoma's quarterback, Caleb Williams, who has looked like Superman at points this season.
Yeah, he has. I mean, from the very first snap that he took in the second quarter against Texas, he was off and running, and his playmaking ability was on full display. I mean, he's bottled up here. Texas is supposed to make this play, but because of the playmaker Caleb Williams is, he breaks it for a 65-yard touchdown. How does he affect the running game? Looking left, getting defenders out of position, and then he's able to pull it down and make plays with his legs. How is he in the passing game? How does that playmaking ability affect the passing game? Short roll, going to get defenders moving because they have to respect Caleb Williams, slip a guy out the back door for another big play. Jason, he is a big play waiting to happen that all the fans watching this one is going to enjoy tonight.
And this is great company, Andre, where you know something about Heisman. This stands out.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you look at guys like Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, and Sam Bradford, number one picks. This is the greats of Oklahoma, and he stacks right up against them in his first 6 career starts.
Feels like 1999. Downstairs, Clark with Bob Stoops.
Coach, 2016 was the last time you were on the Oklahoma sideline. Tonight you're back. What's this moment like?
Same old feelings, same excitement. Can't wait for the game to start. It's the best.
This is a one-shot deal for you. How do you plan on coaching this game?
Hey, going to be aggressive, go after it. I told the players that, so we're going to do all we can to win.
Have fun, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Hey, he said he's going to be aggressive. Maybe roll some dice tonight for Bob Stoops in a one-shot deal. But Oregon is going to try and provide some resistance for that Oklahoma team with a quarterback who's played a lot of football, Anthony Brown.
Yeah, 28 consecutive starts at Boston College before he came over to Oregon. So he's an experienced guy that is full of playmaking ability in his own right. When he is right, Jason, he is as talented as anybody in the country, both throwing the football and making plays with his legs. Completed 63% of his passes this year, 15 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, and he ran for another 9 scores. So look out, it's a quarterback's night if you like quarterbacks.
It absolutely is. And I alluded to the last game they played in 2006 in Eugene. Bob Stoops still wears that scar on his body. We talked to him about that game. There was an onside kick. He felt like number one, Oklahoma recovered the ball and should have won there. He felt like also that the Oregon player, Brian Pasinger, touched the ball early, and then there was a mysterious pass interference call on the next drive for Oregon. He remembers all of that. So don't you think this is just another bowl game? This is just another night. Oregon and Oklahoma both remember that deal.
He told us all about it this week when we had a chance to catch up with him by Zoom, and it's amazing how a single play in a career can stand out, especially if it doesn't work out in your favor.
Now this guy is perfect all time as an interim head coach. Brian McClendon is 1-0 as a head coach in his career, and his players are very much behind him. He got a huge ovation from his guys at the Alamo Bowl luncheon yesterday. And you've been here, I've been here to the Valero Alamo Bowl. This is one of the top college football bowl games in bowl season.
No doubt, and we got one of the better matchups, I think, of bowl season. But when you talk about Brian McClendon, actually got a chance to see him, visit with him on the field before. You know what he was doing?
What?
Pacing around like a player.
Is that
I said,
right?
Hey, you don't have to hit anybody tonight. Relax a little bit. He said, no, when I got into coaching, he said it was all over with. All the tension was there.
Off we go, Oregon and Oklahoma, and this goes into the end zone. And we'll get our first look at Caleb Williams and this offense for the Oklahoma Sooners, who finished the year 10-2. They were a couple plays away from the college football playoff.
Yeah, they really were.
Oregon is very thin defensively. Couple of opt-outs, couple of guys who are injured. One of their keys, though, is number 1, Noah Sewell, their freshman linebacker, who is ultra-talented anchoring this unit.
And a couple of players that are moving over from the offense to play some defense. We'll get into that.
Caleb Williams touches the ball for the first play, and he will send it up in the air and out of bounds. Second
Look
down.
at it, tight end DJ Johnson. He is moving over to Oregon's defense from tight end to play defensive end. And then Jackson Powers Johnson is going to play some defensive line, moving over from the offensive line.
This is Eric Gray to set up a 3rd down and long, and this is exactly what Tim DeRuyter and the Oregon defense were hoping for on an opening series, 3rd and long. Oregon shifts on the defensive line on a 3rd down for Caleb Williams. Sewell was coming, and that is immediately stopped right upon the catch. And it is the safety, Jordan Happel, coming up, along with Jeffrey Bassa, the linebacker, who made the hit. It's 4th down.
Bassa read it perfectly, and I mean, he never broke stride.
On the ball now. Michael Turk averages 51 yards a punt. Now that one goes spinning and rolling and toward the sideline, and this will end up in...
It might bounce 51 yards.
Yeah, that nearly ended up in the Alamo. So Oregon football now, what have you thought of Anthony Brown on tape, the quarterback for the Ducks?
Well, there have been times when you watch him and you think, man, he has got all you need at quarterback. And then there are times when he starts to struggle a little bit and gets himself in a rut. But when he's right, and I think it's going to take early success for Anthony Brown. Give him some easy throws to get himself started. Now he's working with a very young group of receivers.
Extremely young. I mean, they are down 3-4 guys who are typically starters, as he will go out of the backfield for Travis Dye, the junior, who actually leads them in receptions with 42 of them this year.
To go along with an excellent player in terms of a 3-down back. He can run, he can protect the quarterback as well as catching it out of the backfield.
Travis Dye breaks a tackle down the sideline for the Ducks, and he's just short of midfield at the 48-yard line. Deshaun White had him first, but could not finish him off in a gain of 23.
TJ Bass with an excellent block. George Moore is washing everybody down and inside. And once Oregon has success, they're going to go tempo.
A quick hitter right here for Dye. Again, it was split out wide, and he'll get a couple of yards as Pat Fields, the senior, who already has his master's degree, made the stop for Oklahoma.
Joe Moorhead, their offensive coordinator, said, hey, we got a West Coast flavor, but we take shots down the field. And for Oregon at some point here across midfield to take a shot.
Loads of time in a clean pocket for Brown. This is tipped, and it's intercepted by Oklahoma, Justin Broyles.
Young receiver, Dante Thornton. Very talented, but young. And this is a big game for him. Only 5 catches on the season. This is a ball that should have been caught. Anthony Brown, though, is going to have an interception on his stat sheet because of the young receiver.
Pinball didn't go the Ducks' way. Oklahoma when we come back. And Mac Brown, it's a little aggressive for
Mac. I don't know who's going to clean that up if they do dump it on him.
Yeah, that's other duties as assigned, as they typically say in the contracts for Eric Gray. And we have a whistle to stop play before the snap.
Ball start. Offense, number 56. It's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Season is so funny. You get motivation as such a factor in these games. And this is Kennedy Brooks out of the backfield for Oklahoma, the very patient tailback, and it's going to be 3rd and long. Are you surprised?
I am, just because of, you know, how dire it was made for us to believe that, you know, they were so thin, so inexperienced, but they're flying around. And I'm kind of shocked that OU hadn't decided to just line up, get behind this big offensive line and start to try to move bodies, where later in the game that starts to pay off for them.
Yeah, fatigue maybe sets in a very thin defense for Oregon. Williams under pressure. He got touched but not taken down, and Caleb Williams will set up a 4th down and a couple, and we'll see how much Bob Stoops wants to deal the cards.
He wants to win in the worst ways.
You could tell, his assistant coaches even told us, hey, make no mistake, Bob Stoops wants to win this game bad. See, I like this. You got Bob Stoops,
Oregon takes its first
one game
time out of the
and
half.
done. You got Brian McClendon, 1 game and done. Little gamesmanship, Oregon and Oklahoma, 2 big names. Off the top of the show, we told you about some of Oklahoma's former quarterbacks like Kyler Murray and Sam Bradford. There's a running back history in this program as well that we talked to Cale Gundy, the offensive coordinator, about in our meetings. And think about the run they had with those guys, Adrian Peterson, Samaje Perine, too many to list with the 4th and 2 coming up.
Yeah, some good ones. Here, Oregon's got to be alert for Caleb Williams showing it, trying to get out on the edge. A quarterback run of some sort here.
It's a tight end, Jeremiah Hall, in motion. And Williams looks that direction. He's got the first down and then some for Jeremiah Hall. A gain of 9 to move the sticks.
Nice job of reading things out. Zone coverage, so you get your receiver just kind of showing you the numbers and a nice quick delivery of the football to his tight end, Jeremiah Hall.
Brooks again, stonewalled by Mace Funa. Gain of 3, 2nd down. Pavon Thibodeau, who opted out to enter the NFL draft. Their exceptional defensive lineman. And here is Kennedy Brooks, and he meets Noah Sewell, the freshman linebacker, with a big pick to try to keep them in that Pac-12 title game.
And he's an outstanding player in his own right. Sideline to sideline player, versatile player who can also, basically run things down on the outside. And all they say is they just wish that he was a little more vocal. So he brings some guys around, but he certainly lets you know it with his play.
Then in the next breath, they say that's just not him yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yep. Yeah, he'll get there.
3rd down and 6 for Oklahoma. Williams with a clean pocket. He can scan and he dumps it off. And a little sidestep from Kennedy Brooks gets him the first down.
Teams were able to play zone coverage against Caleb Williams, and then he'll throw the ball into some bad spots. Tonight, scanning the field, and that's what bowl practices help you with. Development of your young quarterbacks, and he's been able to kind of look at tape, analyze some things. How do you beat this zone? Looks good so far.
Brooks loads of space up the alley, and he's got another Oklahoma first down.
Good block by Chris Murray, transfer from UCLA for 56. Pulling around there, solidifying things for Kennedy Brooks, and really opened up a nice hole. Inside the red zone goes Oklahoma. 96% on the season when they get down inside the red zone.
That you will absolutely take. Brooks around the corner. There's the patience from Kennedy Brooks that they rave about for a touchdown.
Braden Willis threw the touchdown-freeing block for Kennedy Brooks. Excellent block by number 9. Watch him on the end, a nice kick out. And just continuing to fight and occupying a defender that allowed Brooks to patiently wait things out and then explode once the hole presented itself.
Field as a running back is the way Nikola Jokic sees passing for the Denver Nuggets. He just waits for the time, as that is no good. So it's 6-0 Oklahoma.
Nice block here by the Braden Willis, the tight end, allowing Kennedy Brooks to get himself into the end zone. Going to give OU an early 6-0 lead.
Some opt-outs too. Isaiah Thomas, Nick Benito, Brian Asamoah, Perrion Winfrey. They're thinner as well. Now we see the legs on Brown. So as a former quarterback, if you know you have young receivers, how do you keep that patience if you're Anthony Brown when you expect better?
Well, you know in practice that they're playmakers. Otherwise, they wouldn't be on campus and certainly running with the first team for this bowl game. But you just got to keep reassuring them. There he is.
He went right back to him. And Franklin does make the catch for a first down for Oregon.
And go right to him. Even when they're dropping the football, go back to him. Try to build some confidence. And they tell me Troy Franklin is as talented as they get. He's going to have a fantastic career at Oregon. He's just young.
Well, he was on campus in January. He hasn't been there a full year as Dye gets this run, Cart.
When I spoke to Anthony Brown this week, he told me that he knew this moment would be coming for these freshman wide receivers. He's groomed them. He's talked to them all season long, and each and every one of them has a different skill set. I'll tell you in just a sec.
I guess I was the only one that didn't hear Cart, by the way.
To end up here in the Alamo Bowl, to top it off, it's been great.
This is a great bowl. We've done this a couple times.
Yeah.
Great hospitality.
And a big down here for Oregon on third down, 44% on the season.
They'll go with Dye, and he is a bulldog. That's a first down for the Ducks.
And ran into his tight end, Terrence Ferguson, another freshman. So you're talking about most of the receiving weapons, all are freshmen for Anthony Brown. The only guy with experience, Travis Dye, and the 5 guys in front of him.
Dye comes off. Cardwell is on, knifing through to the 25. And Travis Dye now, that young man you were looking at a moment ago, is now a 3,000-yard rusher in his Oregon career.
Cardwell really came on as the season progressed. Once Verdell was down with an injury, has a ton of potential.
Brown felt the pressure coming and then threw it low and incomplete. The pressure caused that. Crocker didn't have much of a chance to reel it in. Yeah, he's back on the field, 3rd and 2. You called it. Dye right through the teeth of the defense, dragging tacklers inside the 5. That is a muscular run.
Excellent block by the tight end, the freshman, Terrence Ferguson, to kind of kick out on an end, and that allowed Dye right up the field. An excellent read by Anthony Brown as well to give it off underneath to Dye. And Oregon operating now in here inside the 5-yard line.
Go right back there.
Go right back to it. Those big 5 guys up front starting to get some push. Why not?
There he is. And I believe the right tackle moved.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 19. It's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
It was Ferguson.
Ferguson who threw the block that freed up Dye the play before.
There's Brian McClendon, the interim head coach.
Yeah, I still wouldn't shy away from the running game, though. Go right back to Dye.
And now we got a whistle again. Brian McClendon was sprinting down the sideline of the 15.
Oregon takes its second timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
The Oklahoma band has more people than either football team tonight. They will go with Dye, and this time Oklahoma strung it out. LaRon Stoops, the defensive lineman, got there, and it's 2nd and goal. They'll split Dye out into the slot. 2nd and goal. Brown has to dodge one and can't do it. Down he goes. Marcus Stripling, the junior linebacker from Houston, got him down.
The false start penalty by Ferguson, and it just has gone the other direction for Oregon. A missed assignment outside by Stephen Jones, and it allowed a free rusher in the face of Anthony Brown.
Brown short set. He goes to the outside for Hutson, who does get a bunch of it back, and now you going to think about going for it?
I'm going to take some points here. It's, you can't pick up a first down, and they're at about the 6-yard line or so. So I'm going to go ahead and take some points here from Coach McClendon.
It's a 24-yarder for Camden Lewis for Oregon. 6-0 becomes 6-3. In the late 90s, early 2000s, came from UAB and took the phone call. Left on a Saturday after getting Bob Stoops' phone call on a Thursday. He was that interested in coaching with Stoops.
If Oklahoma goes back to the run game here, they had a tremendous amount of success in that previous drive, the touchdown drive with Kennedy Brooks topping it off.
They had 4 carries for 30 yards, 7.5 a pop. And here he is again. Brooks, a couple of yards going behind Tyrese Robinson. Happel with the stop. Jordan Happel notably doesn't have the club on his hand anymore. That was a social media sensation during the Oregon season.
That thing was huge. how he had an interception with it is beyond me.
Yeah, and the Washington game, I mean, it was just insane. As this goes to Woods, Mike Woods. If you haven't seen it, was that the biggest one of those you've ever seen? The club?
Yeah, that's about as big as it gets. It's toned down, way down for tonight's game.
Yeah, he still got it wrapped, but it's not the same as it used to be.
They have 11. Stay on the field, young man.
He wanted the screen. Williams skating back, and he's going to throw it in the ground. There is a flag down on the near sideline.
Offside. Defense number 48. 5-yard penalty results in the first down.
It wasn't because they had too many. It's when he came back on the field, he looped around and ended up offside. He was fine with a number count. Running diagonally off, and that puts him off sides behind around the 30.
Kennedy Brooks to the 41-yard line. Under a minute to go in this first quarter. There isn't much depth to speak of.
No.
They will run it again. This time it's Gray who took a first hit and got a yard after. It was Happel who got in and touched him first on a gain of.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Bob Stoops likes it. Back on the sideline for one last dance. 6-3 his Sooners. All three of them on their honor as we open the second quarter. And Oklahoma with Jeremiah Hall gets it on a 3rd down and 1.
Reduction on the ground game.
Free runner came and a beautiful jumping grab. Mario Williams lost his helmet and he's going to score anyway.
Yeah, Jason, as soon as the helmet comes off the runner's head, the ball's dead. So as soon as it came off, the play's over right there and then. It's unfortunate. They threw a flag for the face mask, but he can't get the advance.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 28. By rule, when the runner's helmet comes on, he cannot advance the ball. The penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. It'll be first and goal.
I ask you, would you change that rule if the runner is not near anybody else?
Well, now you get into in whose opinion is anybody close to him. In this case, it's easy. But if there's any doubt anybody could hit him, it's a foul to hit a runner without a helmet, or any player without a helmet. So it brings in too much other stuff that could happen. So no, I don't see any change.
So it's going to be 1st and 10. They'll get 33 yards instead of a 51-yard touchdown for Williams, but he'll have a story to tell his grandkids in many years. Williams keeps his feet and dodges out of bounds. There's a flag down in the offensive backfield.
Working again.
Holding. Offense number 54. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Every offensive lineman is kind of giving you that, what are you talking about look, throwing those hands up like that. Yeah, he's guilty.
I got to say, I don't know that Bob Stoops is going to love Oregon, Oklahoma officials for the remainder of his time in the game and on the planet.
That's the area where he could grow the most. Against zone, he's executed, and then against the blitz, he's done it as well.
Here is Williams sending it high in the air down the sideline for Stoops. Whip it out of the backfield, and not a whole lot there because Bassett tackled Gray in the open field. It's a gain of 1.
You've seen that. 2 true freshmen in the middle of a defense, and both are playmakers.
Oregon has a chance to be really good next year.
Yes, they do.
Williams climbing the pocket, sends it out wide and a little too much for Gray.
And he was close in warm-ups. He was trying 57-yarder, so this should be no problem.
Burkich to make it 9-3, and this is good. This is the Valero Alamo Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. San Antonio and the Riverwalk, a lovely sight for this bowl game dating back to 1993. And there have been some big-time #1 outfits, but games in this bowl too. 1998, Drew Brees and Purdue beating number 4 Kansas State in a huge upset.
I was here 5 years ago for a crazy one with Oregon and TCU.
That was a wild comeback.
Wild game.
Hutson on the return. And he'll get to about the 22. Did you think they had it in them to come back, Andre?
No, because they couldn't move it at all in the first half. And then all of a sudden they went in the locker room. I'm not sure what Gary Patterson said to his bunch, but they came out and just steamrolled. As much as Oregon steamrolled them in the first half, it was a 180 in the second with TCU coming all the way back and then finishing the thing off in the third overtime.
47-41 the final score. TCU played some iconic bowl games. As Cardwell on the run for a short gain. We were at the Cheez-It Bowl a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Sooners got a player down.
That's Deshaun White, the linebacker, the senior. That'll win you some bowl games.
No doubt about it.
Anthony Brown chase now. Throw is a little bit low, and it's incomplete. Pocket caving in on him. Brown throws low again, and it's incomplete. And now Crocker is a little frustrated that time with a third low throw, Andre, from Brown.
Yeah, another young player, just a sophomore, is Crocker, but never really setting to throw. It's kind of a hitch. His feet are still moving, and when that happens, you notice the ball is starting to nosedive on him.
Yep.
You gotta be able to set your feet where you're throwing accurately.
When you say losing sight of the ball, what do you mean?
Well, get back with you after this punt return.
Mims on the return. This is Marvin Mims for Oklahoma, and it's a good one. It's across midfield. Net of 25.
The Valero Alamo Bowl is brought to you by Valero. Essential products, essential for life. Valero.
Tell you what, they had some quarterbacks at Oregon. Justin Herbert, most recently, Mariota, Joey Harrington.
Talk about both programs. I think both have produced some outstanding quarterbacks. Oklahoma in their own right, but so I got a chance to see Justin Herbert on Sunday against the Texans.
Can we get you a Schooner hat? Can we? Would you wear it?
No.
You wouldn't?
You get it. I'm not going to wear it. You talk about balance. OU, 11 runs, 11 passes. That's balance, my man.
Kennedy Brooks finds the seam again. Another big run for Brooks down the sideline inside the 10.
Let this big offensive line of Oklahoma take over when they've been clean. And I mean, by not getting penalized, they've been magical up front. I love the patience of Kennedy Brooks.
Williams trying to find some space, a little hesitation, and down he goes. So 3rd and goal coming up as Bridges from the corner spot got the stop. Williams wants to fade. Stoops in the end zone for a touchdown, Oklahoma. The Stoops you hear from the crowd could be for father or son.
I think it's definitely for son after that catch.
He had 1 touchdown all year when his dad wasn't coaching. He's got 1 touchdown in the bowl game with his dad coaching. Beautiful moment for the Stoops family to make it 16-3. He's got a big old hat on.
Well, 2 outstanding plays. How about the Kennedy Brooks run? The patience to set this thing up. And then the touchdown pass from Caleb Williams to Drake Stoops. Blitz is coming, buying some time, and just throws the lob shot. Stoops able to come down with it. It's a pretty good offensive football right there. You're able to run it. He's living the life in Norman.
Hutson again. and he just got tripped up just shy of the 30, and then he crosses the 30. Cart downstairs.
Yeah, well, Bob Stoops definitely likes coaching Caleb Williams, and Jeremiah Hall, the tight end, had some neat perspective. I talked to him this week. He said, you know, he played with Baker, played with Kyler, Jalen, and Spencer, and Caleb Williams, he said unequivocally, is in a lane of his own. Those guys did not start as true freshmen, but what really stood out for Jeremiah Hall was that Caleb Williams cares like a veteran. He's so mature, and we know about what he does on the field, but he took 11 classes in the spring to be ready for spring ball, between online in high school and at OU, taking spring classes just so he could learn the playbook, get to know his teammates, and right away he got the respect. And this kid, we know what he does on the field, but he's so cerebral in terms of the way that he sees the game and he deals with people.
Yeah, really impressive guy. You showed it, Andre, right off the top of the show. His first play against Texas. And now Oregon turning to die on that first catch. And he's going to have to be a dude tonight for the Ducks.
And I think Oregon's going to need points right here. You're hot on offense. Need some points here.
Anthony Brown steps up. That door was closed by Stokes. And he goes down. He looked around the edge. Stokes was there, and then Redmond finished him off. You know, it's interesting. Anthony Brown had a couple games where he was under 50% this year. Then he goes about 80% against Oregon State, one of his best games as a Duck. And this one on the wide receiver screen gets him just short of the 45 to Brevard, the freshman. Fourth in the country, Andre.
It looks like Oklahoma's going to play a little bit of zone, keep it in front of him, and then try to tackle him short of the line of game.
Brown over the middle for McGee, who shook one, and he gets knocked down. Royals was in there right in midfield.
Try to draw Oklahoma offsides, give me a free 5 and a free first down.
Oh, they're going. Quick snap, quick throw, and that is a first down for the Oregon Ducks. Spencer Webb, the sophomore tight end out of Sacramento.
They've done a nice job of getting Dye into that area of the field, and as well, now the tight end on fourth down, Spencer Webb. It's an area of concern for Oklahoma because Oregon all of a sudden keeps exploiting it.
Brown snaps off a deep ball, and it's incomplete. He had Franklin by 3 steps.
I can't believe Franklin doesn't make at least an effort to go catch the football. That's the old quarterback in me coming out. It doesn't have to be a perfect pass. You got the man beat. Go get the ball. It bounces right beside you. Put your hands up and make a play. That's irritating.
You were going to jump out of the booth when that ball was in the air.
Not every ball is going to come down in your hands.
Out wide, and now that's stonewalled immediately by Broyles. Nothing there for Hutson. And suddenly, Andre, you miss on that shot. It's 3rd and 13.
Here, just that may be one that you probably should have sailed over his head out of bounds. I just can't believe that the previous play when I was watching.
To Dye out of the backfield. Dye hesitates to the 41-yard line, and it's going to be 4th down and about 7.
And Oklahoma inside the 10.
You win again. Snee pops it in the air, and this does bounce and check up, and right around the 10-yard line is where Oklahoma will have it. It's a 30-yard punt and no return, and the Sooners have a long field here in San Antonio. We have 5 bowl games on New Year's Day. Coverage starts noon Eastern. Sean Clifford and Penn State against Arkansas on ESPN2 in the Outback Bowl, and on ABC 1 Eastern, the Verbose Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Interesting matchup with Iowa and Kentucky. 2 differing styles. Also available on the ESPN app. One app, one tap. You can build some Legos and watch some football like the Oregon Duck. First down for Oklahoma. Caleb Williams pulls it and throws it and has another completion. And this will go all the way across the 20-yard line. Farouk on the catch and just driving the legs for an Oklahoma first down.
Yeah, he is a youngster that they really hold in high regard. He's got a very bright future at Oklahoma, and you start to see why the coaching staff just raves about Jalil Farouk.
Third running back to touch it, Marcus Major this time, and he is across the 30-yard line on a gain of 9.
Oklahoma scored on three straight drives.
And that makes this a big moment for the Oregon defense. Major another first down. There is a marker at the 34.
Holding offense number 52. It's a 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Tackle Tyrese Robinson.
Andre, when you were a quarterback, what did you say to your offensive line when they held?
Didn't say much to them because they were already frustrated that it got called. And the one thing you don't want to do is kind of tick off a guy that's protecting you.
Yeah.
Usually you let those go.
But you'll wear out your receivers.
Those are effort penalties, I call them.
Williams, incomplete. Notably, you didn't answer that you wear out the receivers part of the program.
Every once in a while, I got a text from Jason Phillips.
Williams steps back through the pocket and has the first down. A dart for a first down to Woods.
The patience of reading it out and allowing routes to develop down the field. Third and long, it's going to take some time. So you got to buy some time to let the routes develop and then shoot it out there. And he's been magical in that sense.
Kept it in there for a while, and it is Gray slicing through to the 45-yard line. Nice run by the Tennessee transfer Gray as he got by Sewell first. Last time Oregon and Oklahoma played, Adrian Peterson had a huge fourth quarter. Deep ball for Williams, down the middle, right on the money for Mims, and a Sooner touchdown.
He throws it in the middle of the field. Mims has to go get it. It's exactly what I wanted to see from Troy Franklin, the youngster for Oregon. Adjust to the ball. This is thrown down the middle. You see him leave his original path and go track the football.
15-point turn based on decision-making by the wide receiver. And now the fourth straight scoring drive for Oklahoma. And a big lead for the Sooners.
Caleb Williams throwing darts tonight, but buying enough time for receivers to get down the field. Mims tracking it and capping this baby off. OU up 23-3.
This one Oregon will let go.
Go back to die. You know, that's where they had some success. The offensive line started to establish the line of scrimmage. Got to go back and find the running game here.
Brown to the sideline, got a first down connection to the 40-yard line to Crocker.
They're going to have to go back to Travis Dye at some point.
Great out of the backfield, as we told you earlier in the receiving game. Here is Dye on the run, and a big drive for Oregon because the Ducks do get the ball out of halftime.
First order of business is to get on the scoreboard here.
Brown flushed out of the pocket, trying to break it down, and he gets by one across the 45-yard line, and a first down. Danny Stutzman, the freshman, had him in his sights, and Brown got around him.
This is the athletic ability we talked about in the open of Anthony Brown. Nothing open downfield, is able to make a guy miss, pick up a first down, and how Oregon's operating.
Here's Dye again. Anthony Brown, here's a guy who runs very well for somebody who's popped his ACL twice in his career.
He had over 600 yards on the ground with 9 touchdowns to go along with it. So he's every bit the dual threat. Got to get him going. It's a scoring drive to cap it off with a touchdown.
Pressure came again. They got a shoulder pad, but nothing else.
Smart play.
Joe Moore had raved about him in our meeting.
Yeah, and I think it's 4-down territory. So that you may see them do something that you wouldn't normally do on third downs, but knowing that you're going to go for it on fourth down if there's some type of gain here on third down.
A whistle comes in with the mascot as Clark's new assistant down on the sideline.
False start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
3rd and 13 for Brown. Pressure again. He has to give more ground, and he does get it away for Franklin at the 35. It's got to be the 32 or better for Oregon to move the sticks. Brown kept it and didn't pitch it. And down he goes. Spiked down by Stripley.
And Dye's showing his frustration because he felt like the ball should have been pitched, especially when you make the first defender miss. It was just kind of out of sync. There the ball's pitched. You put one-on-one situation with Dye and Patrick Fields. I'm not sure they pick it up with Fields being the dynamic secondary player that he is, but at least you want to get the play off the ground.
See if they do it on the first play here. It is Gray on a strong run across the 40-yard line, driving the legs, still going. Downstairs, Paul.
Well, Andre, you want Caleb Williams to dial it up. Well, guess what? The corners for Oregon, it's been tough sailing. DJ James hit the portal, and Mikael Wright, he opted out. So their two starting corners are no longer with the team. Not to mention they're down to two starting inside linebackers on scholarship. Outside of those two starters, no inside linebackers on scholarship. This defense has been decimated.
Yeah, that's tough to deal with, and we'll see what they do on 3rd and 1 here against Clemens defense.
Oklahoma, their first of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
That's how Steph Curry does it. He gets his shots up, finishes the record, and then wins the game. Caleb Williams on the run. Got another nice block on the outside. This time, Kennedy Brooks. Murray as well, the right guard.
He's played both guards. Hayes as well as Murray have played outstanding for Oklahoma along the offensive line.
Williams taking the shot up top this time, and incomplete. Mario Williams tried to double back for him, and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, had quick pressure. Got to solidify some things up front.
See the defense struggling with personnel. 138 yards on the ground allowed.
It's tough how they got to go about business tonight, but you got to take your hat off. They didn't look for a way out. They wanted to play tonight. Because of it, we're getting a good ball game.
Look at him shed people. Kennedy Brooks across the 30-yard line and a first down. He is a really tough tackle.
Center Robert Congo opening some things up, and you're starting to see it now. This big offensive line of Oklahoma leaning on the D-line of Oregon. The holes are just starting to get a little bit bigger and bigger.
Do it again. Cutting inside, then back out. Brooks seeking the end zone. He's in. What a night for Kennedy Brooks.
I mean, unbelievable block by 27, the tight end, Jeremiah Hall. You're going to see him just lock on and just drive his guy all the way to the end zone to where he doesn't touch Brooks or even get in the neighborhood.
Got a chance to play for him until tonight. And I was talking to Jeremiah Hall at the bowl luncheon yesterday, and he was talking about Bob Stoops, and he said, you know, Bob recruited me. And I said, you know how I know you're a senior? You called him Bob, not Coach Stoops.
Coach Stoops. But watch the block here by Jeremiah Hall. Focus in right there on 27 and just watch the effort. Leaves one guy and then locks on, and the guy can't get away. This block continues to block him all the way down and took him into the end. Start listening after seeing that block.
I know one person who won't be a guest after that block as Hutson is across the 20-yard line. Now, look, I'm going to tell you about this first, but I have a thought on 30-3 in the Valero Alamo. I believe it was 6 years ago. The score was very similar to this, the other direction. Strange things have happened in the shadow of the Alamo.
No doubt about it. I was here to see it against Oregon against ECU. Wouldn't it be fitting though that Oregon had it happen to them a few years ago, and then all of a sudden they mount a comeback for the second half? He needs to get himself going. And then I'd go back to the running game as well with Travis Dye. Get him reinserted into this game so he feels a part of it. Not sure he does right about now.
Spin it outside, a second straight catch for Thornton. See Travis Dye there on the left. He has had a big first half, and they're going to wind the clock now. No timeout taken. Brown, another long throw, this time to the edge. And that's not going to go for enough. Hutson.
And that's the inexperience. Catch it, get what you can get, but get out of bounds where you save the timeout.
Oregon takes its final timeout of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Doesn't touch the ball here. They got to have him in the second half. As Brian McClendon, his second chance at the interim head coach situation. He was that for Georgia upon Mark Richt's departure back in 2015 in the Tax Slayer Bowl. He's a very impressive coach who, as you said, is going to be a head coach one day.
There's no doubt in my mind. And see the resume there, but I just think I really enjoyed the conversation we had with him. And he's alluded to that he's had opportunities, but they weren't the right ones. I think the right one is coming in the very near future for Brian McClendon.
And we'll talk about this some in the second half, but a credit to a number of guys on his staff and a number of guys on the Oklahoma staff for sticking around. You see a lot of coaches leaving.
Yeah. One thing's for sure, you're not going to out-recruit that guy.
No.
No way.
Anthony Brown, one last play. He's going to go ahead and send it out wide. And Thornton won't go down for the moment. Now that'll do it. This is the Valero Alamo Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. 30-3, Oklahoma with the lead over Oregon. There have been massive comebacks in this game before. We'll see what the Ducks have in the second half. As we thank you for joining us, Jason Benetti, Andre Ware wearing a Christmas present from his son Z.
And no doubt about it. He asked me, hey, when are you going to wear it? And I said, next time I'm on. And he says, well, how am I going to get away with the pink? But hey, you do what you do.
It's a beautiful thing.
I love it.
Paul Carcaterra is downstairs as well, always looking beautiful. How does Oregon come back here?
I think it's a couple of things. They've got to go back. Remember earlier in the game when they were getting stops and forcing Oklahoma to punt the football? That has to happen. They need stops on third down. Then this possession, this opening possession of the second half, got to go down and get some points in order to get themselves going and get a flow offensively. And I think then it's just play the game and let it come to you. But get Dye back involved in the game. Get Anthony Brown moving a little bit to throw the football. Start to put some pressure on Oklahoma's defense.
What did you think of Oklahoma in that first half?
Very impressed with Caleb Williams. At one point, he was 75%, 12 of 16 at one point, just throwing dimes. And he looked very relaxed, very comfortable in the pocket as well as on the move. I think you're looking at one of the guys that we are going to talk a lot about in 2022.
He almost brought them to the college football playoff. They took a couple of losses, lost to Baylor, lost to Oklahoma State. It's a 10-2 Oklahoma team, and Oregon and Hutson on the return. He's had a couple of nice ones. This one will not go in that category. He is short of the 20-yard line as we check in with Cart.
Well, Jason, I just caught up with Brian McClendon, Oregon's coach, and he said Oklahoma up front has been real. The push has been real. Kennedy Brooks is 127 yards on the ground, and the Ducks defense is having a real tough time stopping the run. Offensively, he said they've been able to move the ball, but not in critical spots and too many third down penalties. Do not be surprised, he said, if you see Ty Thompson, who is the freshman quarterback. He's only played in 3 games, so he has another game to play, not burning a red shirt. He's the highest rated recruit in Oregon history, and they've had some great quarterbacks, guys like Justin Herbert, Joey Harrington, and Dan Fouts. So he's from Gilbert, Arizona. He's got an elite big arm, 17 and white, might make it in this ball game.
Yeah, rival days. Number 2 dual threat quarterback overall, number 9 overall coming out.
Glad you asked about him, Cart. We may see him. Travis Dye breaks a big one into Oklahoma territory, and it's all you can ask for if you're a Duck fan in this opening 30 seconds.
Well, you get the ball to playmakers, and Travis Dye certainly qualifies as a playmaker for this Oregon defense. Now, finish this drive is what should be the message from Coach McClendon. Get us into the end zone, but you've got to start to put plays together and finish.
Brown, quick set. Hutson puts his hand on the ground, and that was really gymnastic to stay upright on a medium gain on first down. He wanted to take it to the house.
I really like him. In the return game, you can see the playmaking ability, and then I think you got to find ways to get him the football. Stop on a dime, make guys miss. He's a player.
Freshman out of Compton. Here is Cardwell, another freshman for Oregon. They are loaded with him. And 3rd down and 2. And Clark mentioned Thompson. It's going to be interesting next year. Bo Nix transferring in.
Yeah.
That quarterback position will be really intriguing.
I don't think it's automatic that Bo Nix is the starter. Ty Thompson's got something to say about that. As Clark mentioned, the highest rated recruit to ever hit campus. Kid can play and is looking to compete.
3rd and 2 for Oregon. Opening drive, second half. Cardwell does have the line to gain to the 27.
Get yourself back in this thing.
As you say it, Brown's back to pass. And he's giving ground. He got by 1 tackle and then just has to wing it to the sideline. That's out of bounds incomplete.
That's the guy I want in the huddle.
Yeah, down 30-3, that kind of effort.
Still giving that type of effort, no doubt.
You know, Dan Lanning, the new head coach for Oregon, is watching this. Seven McGee thought about the transfer portal and decided to come back to Oregon as Cardwell gets stonewalled by Broyles, and it's 3rd down.
Flat. And it's there for Anthony Brown if he wants it to Cardwell.
In the pocket, Brown throws it over the middle and does have the 1st down to Crocker just outside the 10.
Nice throw and a nice catch into zone coverage. Crocker just kind of reading things out along with the quarterback, knowing not to run through the zone and take a big lick. And Anthony Brown does a nice job of protecting him, hitting him on the back shoulder with that thing.
This is Dye into the end zone and a touchdown, Oregon.
Well, he can play some football, can't he?
Big time.
Over 1,100 yards on the season, 15 touchdowns coming into tonight's ball game, but a nice job up front. And Ferguson at tight end has done an excellent job all night long of throwing blocks in the running game.
Oregon's going to go for 2 here to try to make it 30-11. Scorigami people are getting very excited. Hutson looking for the end zone, and he is in. It is 30-11 Oklahoma. Oregon on the comeback trail, and you never know in San Antonio in bowl season.
And another outstanding block by Terrence Ferguson, the tight end. Kicks out. He actually threw one on the Dye touchdown, and then on the 2-point conversion, number 19 throwing a nice block as well for Hutson. And see if Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant can step up and meet the challenge.
Oklahoma still up big here. And they will get the ball just short of the 25 with Gray. Look at tonight's clutch delivery brought to you by Chipotle. And that clutch delivery, the long ball to Mims, Andre.
Oh, yeah, what a throw by Caleb Williams. Reading things out, scanning the field from one side to the other, and then locates Mims, who adjusts well to the football. Tell you what, that's what you have to do. Just let a guy run under it, put it out there, and it's just a nice throw and catch. The first half it was for this Oklahoma offense, and especially for Caleb Williams. 12 of 17, 129 yards. Touchdown toss to Mims.
Injured player is Damon David for Oregon, along with Key Lawrence for Oklahoma. Lawrence is still down. David over on the sideline. And we are going to step aside. Injured party was Key Lawrence. You see him on the left side of your screen, Andre.
Yeah, just kind of friendly fire from one of his own teammates. And he was able to get up after some time and walk off. So I think he's going to be okay. And it's good to see him get off the field under his own.
Bob Stoops was on the 18th hole on the golf course when he found out his services might be needed for this game. And he was ready to go. He figured, why not? One more game. He is maybe even more beloved now in Norman than he was when he left. As Williams on the reverse has some space and breaks it down along the sideline against Verone McKinley III, the outstanding safety for Oregon. It's a gain of 11.
Williams. You talk about a guy that can pick him up and put him down.
Outside Mike Woods. And second and medium coming up. Clark.
When I spoke to Bob Stoops at half, gentlemen, he said the balance was key in the offense. Caleb Williams through the air, Kennedy Brooks on the ground, and he attributed the offensive line having an elite first half performance. And I'll tell you, field level, there is major push with the big guys up front. They've been fantastic for Oklahoma.
And they go right behind him as you say that with Gray. And he turns it up down the sideline. Gray inside the 15. It's a gain of 48.
Well, we've given credit to Jeremiah Hall, but Braden Willis now is the guy you got to give some credit to. Number 9, an excellent block to free up Eric Gray and start to see the speed on the back end of it by Eric Gray. He's right. This offensive line and the tight end group with Hall, Willis, and then Hayes and Murray, the left and right guard respectively, they have done an outstanding job in this ballgame.
Longest carry of the year. That was about 50 yards of Gray. On first down, he'll lose a couple.
Oh, that was great.
Hey, look.
50 yards of Gray.
We learned from John Madden, who just recently passed. If you're not having fun in the booth,
that's right,
you're doing it wrong. And for me, that's one of the major lessons of that guy who we just lost yesterday. One of the great football men of all time and a tremendous announcer. Caleb Williams running behind Brooks, found a crease, and he's down to about the 6-yard line. Out of Gonzaga College High School, nestled in D.C., played for the great coach there, Randy Trivers. Caleb Williams spins it out wide for an Oklahoma touchdown, and Gray finishes the deal.
With just the arm strength to wait it out. And Gray's kind of waiting on it a little bit. But then once he decides and it just kind of clears itself up, he just spits it out there in a hurt for Eric Gray.
3 different receivers have caught the 3 touchdown passes for Caleb Williams today.
Unbelievable. I'll tell you also, when Bob Stoops was on the 18th hole, when he got that call, the message he had to his team in the first meeting is no one individual is bigger than this program, including him. And when you're around this program, when you're around this fan base, you believe it.
Yeah, he's reiterated that to his players. And what I think is really cool, Kark and Andre, watching him with the players and the reverence these guys have for him, the knowledge they have of how important he was to the program. I mean, for some of these guys, he didn't recruit them, but they feel that, and they feel the honor that he brings as we take a look at the Bowl Challenge Cup standings brought to you by Progressive. Cup goes to the conference with the best winning percentage in the postseason. And I have to say, the SEC at 0-4.
Surprising.
Yeah, a little shocking. I know you're not on Twitter, but Dana's been posting pictures with the bowl trophy at like the pool, on the plane. He's gone a little off the rails, and I love it. As Dye might have lost the football. Oklahoma says it's their ball.
I think he was down, actually.
The field, the runner was down before the ball became loose. It was second down.
Tell you what, if Oklahoma didn't get that one, but they got the one in 2006, they'd be okay. Let's see.
He's down. Then the ball comes out.
Anthony Brown down the middle for Crocker. And he's got a first down past the 30. Dye is knocked down. I want to ask you, what makes a quarterback so good one day completion percentage wise, then he has a drop off mid-season? What makes him that type of guy?
Well, the one thing I would point to certainly in this game is the lack of experience on the outside. Guys that you've built a rapport with, working through the offseason, through the season, and then all of a sudden they're not there and you're relying on young players.
This is a beautiful ball for Thornton, and he waltzes in for the touchdown.
Big 6'5", true freshman with tons of speed. They just describe him as very talented. You see exactly why with that dime that he caught from Anthony Brown. Boy, looking off coverage one way, knowing the entire time he's going back down the left sideline, and he hits Thornton right in stride. Hey, you score a touchdown, see it and match it. Right back down the field in a hurry come the Ducks.
They're going to kick the extra point this time. That was the longest play of the game, 66 yards and home. extra point.
Nice.
Is good.
Stay with us.
What else are you doing tonight? Come on. Have some fun with the Dolphins, get a boat ride, and enjoy San Antonio. How about 59,000 people here for this game? I mean, this is a bonanza every year in San Antonio. They had the Final Four here just a couple of years ago, and interestingly enough, Loyola of Chicago was here, and Porter Moser, who brought them to San Antonio, now the head coach at Oklahoma. Would you say Oregon had the biggest non-conference win of this college football season with their win against Ohio State?
When they went to the shoe and beat Ohio State there, no doubt about it.
Big-time underdogs in that game, too. As Oregon tries to inch back in this game, Caleb Williams throws it down the middle. He's got Farouk into space across midfield. And Oklahoma with a big hit of 30 yards, Carton.
Not good news for Oregon. You saw the big play by Caleb Williams. Noah Sewell just walked off into the locker room. Arguably their best player, the inside linebacker. They're now down to one scholarship inside linebacker. That's Jeffrey Bassey. He's a converted safety. So Sewell is the heartbeat of this Oregon defense. Second in the Pac-12 in tackles. And he is the energy and the spark of this defense. And when you talk to teammates, they just love Noah Sewell. They love his energy and his passion for the game of football.
With that card, Andre, if you know he's out and you're calling plays like Cale Gundy is, where are you going?
I'm running the football. I'm going between the tackles because their best, arguably, their best run stopper is not in the game.
Williams, Farouk again. Boy, is he good in space. Farouk breaks across the 25-yard line. Khalil
Seeing some good young wide receivers in this one. Farouk. On the other side, Thornton with that long touchdown catch. Farouk
steps in here with Mims, a long touchdown catch tonight as well. Kennedy Brooks on the swing pass. Little side step. That is nifty. Soft shoe from Kennedy Brooks inside the 10.
It seems as though Oklahoma has an answer for Oregon. Oregon scores. Oklahoma's okay. We're not going to panic. We're not going to try to get it all back, but some big plays within the structure of what they want to do offensively is allowing them to move the ball down the field with very little effort. Farouk, you got Kennedy Brooks, Caleb Williams throwing dimes.
Brooks waiting, buying time around the corner. Kennedy Brooks, a vintage run that time to the pylon, and it is an Oklahoma touchdown.
Kennedy Brooks, we've seen it. It's been on display since the first possession of the game. Watch him just kind of wait the thing out, wait it out, allow blocks to set themselves. Waited on Anton Harrison, the left tackle, to throw the final block that got him into the end zone.
How about the footwork to stay in bounds and find his way into the end zone?
Yeah.
You said they have the answer, and they did it in 133 seconds. 2:13 on the touchdown drive for Oklahoma, up to 44-18. That flag's been getting a workout tonight.
His arms maybe getting a little tired, waving that thing around.
I think Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head are a little overdone right now for Oregon. 44-18. Doing wonderful work across America, covering college football and helping get out details about these players. And everybody in one of these uniforms has a story, and we learn a lot from the beat writers across America, so thank you to them. Anthony Brown is too hot, incomplete.
Well, he was hot before that pass. He was 9 of his last 10, including the touchdown to Thornton. Starting to heat up a little bit. And if he just puts a little air under that one, Spencer Webb may be in a foot race to the end zone. 18 touches, his runs and passes received. Together, 156 yards for him.
Franklin on the wide receiver screen, and that's across the 35 for an Oregon first down.
Needing to match scores, and we got to do it in a hurry here, Jason. A couple of quick scores. They need stops as well on defense, but can't allow a possession to go by now without scoring.
Stops might be the bigger problem tonight for Oregon, as the points are coming with a couple of touchdowns here in the second half.
Get a little bit fatigued.
You called it in the first quarter. You said if you run the ball, you see that fatigue starts to set in as Brown climbs the pocket, gets by one tackler, and got a block from Dye all the way downfield, still engaged in the play. Brown unleashes down the sideline, and did he come back to catch this ball? There's a flag down. It was Hutson on the adjustment down the sideline.
I think the flag may be for interference, but that's one heck of a catch by Hutson. Another freshman
throws the hat just to let you know that
There is
the
no
player
foul
went
on
out
the
of
play.
bounds.
The receiver was forced out of bounds, did not establish himself back in bounds. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. It'll be second down.
So him throwing the hat is not telling
Matt, what do
you
you
how
think
he
of this
got out of
call here?
bounds. Well, he's right. If the receiver goes out of bounds on his own, or either way, he's got to get himself back in bounds with both feet. So he did not. I don't think he got either feet back in bounds. So I think it is a correct call in this case.
And now we will go on second down. Dye does a cartwheel in midair. Pat Fields just undercut him, and Dye is okay after a big fly.
Well, I bet Dye is one of those guys in practice that guys hate to see him coming because he's got one speed, and it's 100 miles an hour straight ahead. He can make you miss, certainly. We've seen him do that throughout this game. And I bet you he practices every bit the way he plays on Saturday.
He hits that hole so hard, as this is over the middle for the tight end, Terrence Ferguson. And he rode Fields all the way down to the 39-yard line, gain of 8. Brown scanning, and he's going to drop it off for Cardwell, who is knocked down at the 37 by the freshman linebacker, who they like quite a bit, Danny Stutzman, out of Windermere, Florida.
It just depends on who shows up. Can Michigan get pressure on Stetson Bennett? They can, and I like the Wolverines.
Ball came out. Let's see. They're going to call him down.
Dye on one carry, and then Cardwell there. Yeah, good call. Elbows down. Ball comes out. That's a good call.
Dye comes back in. Cardwell out. Wearing that number 21 that a couple of greats have worn at Oregon. Third down, 5 for Brown. Anthony Brown on the hands and incomplete. Thornton couldn't reel it in.
Put it on him. He's trying to almost lead him, and it's zone coverage. Just got to stop him with a football. Get him right between the 1 and the 0. Just stop him with the ball. And the one, he doesn't take a lick, or the lick that he's anticipating taking. And you're protecting him with a throw.
Yeah, he felt White coming, didn't he?
Oh, he knew it was coming.
Fourth down for Oregon. Brown wants it all down the sideline. It's there for the touchdown. Kris Hutson with nobody in the zip code.
Gave a heck of an effort on that same side of the field, which he was out of bounds on, and then comes back a few plays later. And Anthony Brown, we talked about heating up. Oregon not going anywhere yet. Just caught the corner to that side, peeking a little bit too long.
Some more. Big hug on the sideline for Hutson. Oregon hanging around.
That'll be good. Got offsides on Oklahoma.
Onside. Defense number 32. Penalties decline. Try is good.
No onside kick from Oregon as yet. And this is right near the pylon and out of bounds. I know. I shouldn't say onside
Free
kick
kick out
to
of bounds
Oklahoma.
on the kicking team. The Oklahoma football at the 35-yard line.
You got to take your hat off to Oregon as well. They have started this half with touchdown drives of 81, 80, and 76. And there's your quarterback comparison. A couple of big strikes here in the second half for Anthony Brown and really up that yardage total.
We told you about the All-22. It's a fun way to watch a game. You see everybody.
See everything unfold in front of you.
I kind of like it.
Go certain places with the football. You see it. You can actually see a guy looking defenders off.
My gosh, how did Caleb Williams thread that through to Mario Williams, who got a horseback ride from Jalen Davies, by the way?
You know, you study the film on Caleb Williams, and it's impressive, but it's better live and in person because you see the ball jump off his hand. I think he has got an off season where he is going to get leaps and bounds better because he will learn to understand coverages better and where the weaknesses are and how to attack them.
It's a 36-point combined third quarter, and Oklahoma on the ball, and Caleb Williams on the handoff for Marcus Major. And he goes crashing across the 40-yard line. I mentioned that story by Jason Kersey in The Athletic about Bob Stoops and his retirement and then coming back. Evidently, the first game that Bob Stoops wasn't coaching at Oklahoma in 2017, he decided to go as a fan, and he got caught in traffic. And he said to his wife, "Where are all these people coming from?" And she said, "Honey, this is what happens on game day." Essentially, I mean, you get caught in it as a player and coach, right? Like, you don't have the same experience as a fan, but he's really beloved.
You don't have the escort to get to the stadium?
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same when you're not on the bus.
Big fella's getting it done up front in front of Caleb Williams.
Look at you taking care of his offensive line like a quarterback should. Major on the run. He is stood up by Bassa. And second down coming up. So you got two teams that are going to be under new management next year. Brent Venables coming over to Oklahoma, and then Dan Lanning from Georgia to Oregon. There's Venables taking in the game, former Sooner.
Got to be impressed with what's going on, and you know he's not only tasked with getting Oklahoma ready for the Big 12 season next year, but soon to be an SEC foe. So you've got to add an element of toughness there, that you can navigate an SEC schedule down the road, so you start to recruit that way as well.
Major to the 20-yard line. There's a flag down.
Holding. Offense number 56. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
I stand corrected. It's his partner hanging out next to him, Chris.
Brent Venables, and he thinks the best is yet to come with Caleb Williams. He thinks combined with the supporting cast, the coaching, playing offense, defense, it could be a wonderful marriage. And imagine coaching this guy in your first 2 years as the Sooner coach. Caleb Williams with 2 years eligibility left, and Jeff Levy will be the offensive coordinator coming from Ole Miss and UCF. And Andre, when you look at Levy and what he's done at UCF and Ole Miss, how do you feel like Caleb Williams will blossom even more under Levy?
I think it's going to be a ton of fun for Caleb Williams. I think he's going to blossom big time.
Oh, he's pointing out, directing traffic, stays in bounds, and then slid. Now, that's different than the Kenny Pickett play. He faked going out of bounds and then really slid.
And no doubt about it, but I think he is going to be a special player. And I think where the growth is going to come from is pre-snap reads based on coverage and where you're going to make things a little bit easier. And then when the rotations start to happen in the secondary, you know it because of film study and how you prepared. So I think that's where he can get a lot better in his preparation for games, and then give himself a head start by really adjusting to things as they start to move.
Start. Offense number 71, 5-yard penalty, third down.
And guys, that tells me that guys love playing with Caleb Williams as the leader of their offense and one of the faces of the program.
A drop off a screen, plucked by Gray, and Eric Gray trying to weave his way, and it's going to be fourth down and about 2 from the 22. Mace Funa is down and injured at the 48-yard line. We were joking around with Bob Stoops on our Zoom call. You know, coaches talk a lot about the media as a group, right? The media have done this, the media have done that. You become the media pretty quick when you're out of coaching. Bob Stoops has become the media, so he can't talk about the media anymore because he is the media. Clark, you talked to him before the game. There's no chance he doesn't go for it 4th and 2 here, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be aggressive. It's house money. You and I, Jay, talked about it all week, right? It's house money for Bob Stoops. It's a one-shot deal. But he's so competitive. You see the fire, and as much as this is a game that he knows he doesn't have a ton riding on it because it's not his team next year, you still see the intensity, the fire, and like the nervous energy before the game. When I was waiting to chat with him, he's all in.
Park, before the game, I was down on the field and had a chance to visit with him. He was high-fiving or giving everybody a little dap that was stretching. They were in stretching lines. He was going to every individual player. It's kind of like soaking up the moment, so to speak, of having to do or getting to do this one more time. So I know there's no doubt he's enjoying this.
Oh yeah, but he's going to go for it in this spot, and he's loving it. Yeah. He's loving it.
Out of time on the play clock.
Play action. Williams to Jeremiah Hall, the senior, for an Oklahoma first down, and a big old hit he put on Bridges on the sideline.
Excellent play call. Get everybody thinking inside run, and then you leak the big tight end out, Jeremiah Hall, and a little get off me at the end of that one.
Send it out wide. This is Mims. And he leans across the 15-yard line.
9 straight completions for Caleb Williams.
Timeout, Oregon. Andre, some coaches leave before bowl games. Yeah. Other guys stay and see it through.
Got to give both staffs a lot of credit for sticking it out. Ryan Odom, Arcane, Calvin Thibodeau for Oklahoma, and Joe Moorhead staying, Tim DeRuyter coordinating things for Oregon. Hats off to these guys because they all have stops after tonight's game, and you know how tough it is to really concentrate, put a game plan together, but then your next job, especially a guy like Joe Moorhead, who is going to be the head coach at Akron, putting the staff together, trying to recruit.
Caleb Williams down the middle, and this is incomplete. Head man of Thornton back in the day. Joe Moorhead, known as an offensive wizard. Another run, and Major spikes his hand down as he went down to the arms of Jordan Hafning. Bowl game last year, at 110 in Oklahoma's bowl last season. Wasn't eligible until October of this year, as Burkett will line up from 29. And it's good. Lovely San Antonio, Texas, bustling with 59,000 plus here in the Alamo Dome. 7 children in his family, 6 sisters. 7 McGee. Big 12 now on ESPN. Every time I've read a promo tonight, I've thought about Pat Summerall and John Madden. Back when they were on CBS doing the NFL, Pat Summerall would do a promo for the television show Murder, She Wrote. And in his voice, he would say, coming up next, Murder, She Wrote. And the crew started taking bets on how long the space between Murder and She Wrote was going to be. They had great fun in the booth. And one time, that show wasn't coming up. It was the evening movie, Gone with the Wind, was coming up. And Pat Summerall said, Gone with the Wind. And Madden had to leave the booth. He was laughing so hard. Tremendous bit.
That's awesome.
2 of the greats, always in our hearts together, doing football. Here is Dye again, and man, he is electric when he gets the football.
Well, they have come to life in terms of offensive production. They just can't get stops to get themselves truly back in this game. But second half, they have looked like the Oregon that we expect to see.
Brown going for a shot to Crocker into traffic, and a flag is coming in.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Pass interference, defense number 10, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
They got Fields on the pass interference card. This young man is a really impressive kid.
He certainly is, Jason. He's got his master's degree in accounting. He's a finalist for the William Campbell Trophy. It's the best scholar athlete in college football. He has a job offer already at McKenzie & Company. He told me as an analyst in strategy consulting. He is an unbelievably talented young man on and off the field. He also told me he wants to be a CEO and be financially secure enough to get back to his hometown in Tulsa and open a community center for younger people where the focus is on mentorship and development. Beyond impressive.
Oh, he said yesterday to me that he didn't have exactly that type of role model when he was growing up, and he wants to be that was missing every once in a while for him, for other people. 3rd down and 6 for Oregon. Anthony Brown, the senior quarterback, on the move. Got a block outside from Franklin, and down he goes at the 30 after a run for a 1st down.
Brown gives himself up, and then he just makes contact. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's enough to draw a flag.
Brown wants more. Franklin over the shoulder. Did he drag the foot? Yes, he did.
Nice catch.
Wow. Troy Franklin got the foot in and put it away.
On this ball placement by Anthony Brown, and he gets the left foot. I think it's the left foot that comes down inbounds, secures the catch. The other one taps down out of bounds. It's awesome.
Matt Austin, our rules expert. That's a touchdown, right, Matt?
Oh, absolutely, yes. The inside foot was in, definitely. Firm control, touchdown.
But look at the concentration. Helmet, you can see it just eyeing the football the entire time. That's how you adjust to the football, young man. Excellent catch.
Now, Oregon's trying to make this a 14-point game. 4 straight touchdown drives this half for the Oregon Ducks. And this will be blown dead.
Late game. Offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
Enjoyed Matt. He has made us look good at times.
We will not open his mic for a rebuttal about us, as Camden Lewis knocks down the extra point. Oh, we got to go to break. No time for Matt to respond. This catch by Franklin, Andre.
Yeah, this is an outstanding catch by Franklin. Over the shoulder, dropping it in a bucket by Anthony Brown. Down about 15. That's something for him to eat.
It's an Oregon-Oklahoma onside kick. Is everybody okay? Jeremiah Hall recovered it for the Sooners. It's wild how much coaches remember games like that. That onside kick from 2006. Luke Bellotti, Mike's son, our former colleague Mike Bellotti, had the onside kick that went Oregon's way. Bob Stoops still salty about it the other day when we did our coaches' calls.
He had a full-on story about it.
And by the way, he's not wrong. The week after that happened, the Pac-10 suspended the officials for a week. And that does not happen very often at all.
Oklahoma, you talk about some production. 531 total yards. They've scored on 8 straight drives. Too shabby for Oregon as well. They've scored touchdowns on 4 straight possessions.
Kennedy Brooks. Isn't it interesting watching him live run the football? Caleb Williams lost the football. It's loose, and he climbs back on top of it.
It's fun to watch. You're impressed by it.
Stoops put the ball on the ground. And let's see, is it Oregon football? It looked like Barone McKinley III swung in there to pick up the ball. Now he's just getting mauled at the bottom of the pile.
He's going to get up with it. I'm just not sure. They're not going to rule Stoops as being down before the ball came out. So
it's a flag as well.
Pass interference, offense number 9. It's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 3rd down. The ruling on the field is that the offense recovered the football. Again, it'll be 3rd down for Oklahoma.
Did Oklahoma get this back?
Remember, every play is reviewed. See if he gets it back. Is he down when he has it?
Oh, that's very close. Matt Austin, you're watching this real time, our rules expert. What do you think? Was that a recovery and down by Stoops?
Well, one of the things as officials that we always preach is if a player on the ground does get the ball, does control it, let's shut it down before a pileup occurs because somebody could get injured. So I'm sure that's what they're saying. It was obviously a fumble. and he starts to gather the ball in. Yes, I think that's control. The defense comes in, takes it away. That's not fair. He had it knee on the ground, offensive ball.
Interesting. That's really close. I might, for the first time ever, disagree.
I'm wondering if they are going to stop this and take a look. I would snap it if I'm Caleb Williams. That's for sure, before they get a chance to see it upstairs again.
Going to go to Gray. On 3rd down and 24, just trying to help the field position. Ron McKinley III wants to be a sportscaster when he's done with his football career. With that level of zest and spice, he might be on first take at some point.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down. Please just set the game clock to 3 minutes, 54 seconds, 3-5-4.
It's the first punt for Oklahoma since the opening drive after 8 straight scores. And he just got it away, and down goes Turk. Here comes a marker. Let's see when a referee turns on his microphone.
Running into the kicker, defense number 19. That penalty's declined. It'll be 1st down for Oregon.
SVP, what's up? Say hi to Stanford Steve for me. Oregon trying to come back in this thing late. See if you get a bad beat on your hand from this game, as Franklin couldn't make the catch. The punt again. We'll bring in Matt Austin, our rules expert. The difference between running into and roughing, Matt?
Well, usually if you endanger the pair, hit the plant leg, it's automatic 15 yards. If you run through the kicking leg, it's an automatic 5 yards. So in this case, I think most of the contact was to the kicking foot, so I agree with running into.
Oregon fans might want the 15. It's 2nd down and 10 instead. Thank you, Matt. Anthony Brown just barely got out of the end zone. Redmond and Stripling bracketed him, and Brown is down now in the end zone.
That's one that you wish, just throw it away.
Oregon takes its 2nd timeout of the half. Your 30-second timeout. Please just set the game clock to 3 minutes, 32 seconds, 3-3-2.
3rd and 16. Brown had to dodge early. Stripling was bearing down on him. And now, 4th down from your own welcome mat.
If you're Oregon, you got to just step and punt the thing away. He hit a miss.
Snee just drilled it. Absolutely drilled it, rolling out of bounds. I know one guy's watching that. It's Dan Orlovsky standing at the end line, as always. A pleasure for him. How about Kennedy Brooks tonight, Andre?
He has been phenomenal with their running game, running behind his big physical offensive line, and out throw the tight ends, Hall and Willis, in there with him. He started early, and it continued often throughout this ball game. The patience in which he runs to allow blocks to set themselves up, and it just kind of makes his job a little easier, but it takes, you know, some understanding of how to do that and the willingness to even try it.
Well done. Kennedy Brooks, 142-3 on the ground. And a big smile on that young man's face. Oklahoma with Oregon down to 1 timeout to go. And they'll go with Major on a 1st down carry.
But he's got some pop. When he runs it, you feel it on the defensive side.
Yeah, both these teams could very easily be in the college football playoff conversation next year. More than 300 yards on the ground tonight for Oklahoma as a team. They're going to drive the legs still, yeah.
Forward, no doubt.
Bob Stoops is going to get himself a Gatorade bath, it looks like, for the Oklahoma Sooners. And how about Bob Stoops, who said all he has now is time on his hands.
Takes its final timeout of the half. The full timeout.
There it is.
No doubt that they chose the right guy to come in on an interim basis to get this team ready, and got the performance out of him that he was expecting.
Major. How about next year, week 1, by the way, Oregon, Georgia?
Be a tough one. You know, they still got business left here in a couple of days, Georgia, but they'll be ready. And
And that will be the second to last play of the Valero Alamo Bowl. How about this for Oklahoma?
Yeah, no doubt. Impressed with Caleb Williams and especially Kennedy Brooks. A heck of a job.
Well, Oklahoma wins. Cart, Andre, it's been an absolute pleasure sharing football with you this
Enjoyed it, my friend, every week.
We have a wonderful crew. Thank you for joining us. Oklahoma wins. Happy holidays. Thanks for watching. We say so long from San Antonio.